Welcome back to my channel. Today I have some breaking news for you guys. CPI inflation came out today and the stock market is going insane. Now let's take a look into the numbers.
All right, we are now looking at the wires. Hot numbers coming out. June CPI down 0.1% on headline, down 0.1%. That would equal where we were on May of 2020. To find a lower number, you have to go to April of 2020 when it was at its extreme of -0.8. So that is the first time we've had a minus sign there. That's actually deflation, not necessarily disinflation. Now, if you strip out the all-important food and energy, it's up 0.1. That's a little cooler than we were expecting. Up 0.1 would be the lightest going back to January of 21. In August of 21, you would have equaled up 0.1. Now let's look at year over year. Year over year has been a bit lower in the past, and now it equals that level. 3%. 3% equals that low I was referencing before I saw the data, which was June of 2023. To find a smaller number, you're going to March of 21 when it was 2.6. If you look at year over year core, 3.3%. Our last look was 3 years, more than 3 years at the lowest level of 3.4. So 3.3 will hold that moniker. It is also the lightest level going back to April of 21. Now let's look at claims, shall we? Initial claims, 222,000. That's minus 17,000 from the revised 239,000. 222,000 is the smallest initial claims since the third week in May. And finally, on continuing claims, it is now up for above 1.8 million for the fifth consecutive week, 1,852,000, and that, of course, comps to last week when it was 1,856,000, and that would have comped back all the way to, you're going back to November of 21. So we obviously see interest rates moving lower. That 10-year was hovering right around 4.28. It's now hovering at 4.19. It's going to be very important to see which side of 4.25 it closes at, even though it's well below that level right now. And if you look at a 2-year note, it's at 4.51. It's been holding above 4.60. We want to pay attention to that as well. We see that the pre-opening equities have zoomed up. They are now in positive territory from minus 60-ish on the Dow futures to now up over 90 points. So we see this goes a long way for potentially that September rate cut, even though many may be pointing towards July. I personally don't think that's in the cards, but one never knows. It certainly seems as though Jay Powell now has two issues that he can point to for potentially easing. Inflation getting closer to his target, but still not there. And, of course, the new wild card he pulled out that no matter what inflation does, it's a lot lower than it was, came down a lot last year, and he's now nervous about the labor market. And we can point to the two pillars of maximum employment, stable prices, and then that outlier pillar that maybe isn't quite a pillar, moderate long-term rate.
All I have to say is that Tom Lee was right with his thesis that inflation is falling like a rock. And I remember Tom Lee saying that after the CPI report for June that everyone will be on the same camp. If you don't know who Tom Lee is, please do some research on him. I'm starting to think that the guy has a crystal ball and he can predict the future. Now we have the S&P 500 that's down about 1%. And then we also have the NASDAQ that's down about 1.7%, close to 2%. And then we have big names like Apple, Amazon, Nvidia. Pretty much the big tech names are down today simply because what we're seeing in the market, we having a rotation into small caps. And if we take a look at the Russell 2000, which is the small cap index ETF, they are currently up 3% on the day. Because after this inflation report, it clears the way for the Federal Reserve to have an interest rate cut starting as early as September. And we all know and understand market cycles in the economy. If there is a rate cut in September, the companies that are going to benefit the most are small caps. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to get some free stock down below in the description with Mumu, who is a sponsor of the channel.